Hey YouTube, what is up everybody? Pretty much, I've been working on my kicks, trying to get better at them. I kind of realized that my right leg needs to have more power. It's got the speed, but it just don't have the power behind the kicks as my left one does. So I realized on what I need to work on. But that's the whole thing about training on your own. And the thing of it is about training on your own. If you're doing martial arts, you've been doing it for so long in a class environment, and all of a sudden, all your schools shut down, and you have no way of learning martial arts but out of books or um, off of videos online, that is your only option, then I would go for it because me learning out of books and doing what I do and learn out of some things. There are some of the things I might have taken from different styles that I've learned out of books. I might take a certain technique out of it and try to apply it into my own training. But now the system that I haven't, really got to understand is C-Lot. Basically, C-Lot is a form of combat for the streets, and basically it's just that I got a book on it a long while back, and it just talks about self-defense, how to do groundwork, how to do how to fight multiple attackers. Even has a little bit of weaponry and stuff like that in the book. I mean, it ain't a master book, but it just gives a few basic information about what to do. Now, there was one book that I did learn really good on was Ronda Rousey's Winning on the Ground book. It's a little thin book, and it was really explanatory on how to do some basic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu armbar. I mean, it had each step, basically step by step on how to do it. And then there's another book. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's a karate book, but I can't remember on what system of karate it is. But it's by Funakoshi Sensei, the one that made the book himself, the founder of Japanese karate. So, and it's an old school manual. I mean, that was like the first karate book I ever got, and I've been, I learned a lot of things about karate out of it, and and then there's Bruce Lee books. You can get, if you want to learn his system, learn Jeet Kune Do if you don't have a Jeet Kune Do school, or get all of its fighting, get the complete fighting method edition book. I got that. I didn't feel like buying the smaller books. I waited till I knew there was going to be a book out there with all of it together. I just didn't know when it was going to be published. So I ended up getting the complete fighting method book. That way you can learn his techniques a lot better. Kind of understand what Jeet Kune Do is about. And so that was a whole other reason why I wanted to get it. And so I've been kind of like trying to train myself in other arts. I've been doing karate for so long. Um, I even make up my own combinations and as I go along, and then I just kind of work on it for a while. But the thing of it is, you're doing it on your own for so long. Everything seems the same. When you practice something new, the style might be different, the technique might be different, but all in reality, um, this is how I see it. All in reality, martial art fighting system back in the day, it's all the same. Their training regimen might be different, but it's all the same. That's right. It is all the same. Because to me, when you're training in an art for years and years and years, um, everything seems the same. But only principle is that it just has the same principle. It says only used for self defense. Only. And back then in ancient times, you know, they didn't really use it for self defense. If somebody was in love with somebody back then and they turned around, somebody else is messing with their woman, they would challenge them to a duel. And they would test their skills out on each other for honor. Nowadays, if you did that, you would get arrested. So that's the reason why self defense books. Yeah, you can learn self defense from books, but you gotta realize it's only for self defense, only for self help. When you're on your own training. But when if you keep practicing it delicately, yes, the book can be useful. But if you don't practice at it delicately, you can't learn anything out of a book. Then my suggestion is try to find a local martial arts school and learn in person. If you can't really learn from a book, but I'm saying you can't because 9 out of 10 you mostly can learn from a book. Because most people say, "Oh, you can't learn from a book," on martial arts. You can't. Some of the stuff is too advanced. They always want to put the advanced material in where you don't understand it, or you're not that flexible. That's what they provide in the books. Well, my thing of it is, books are knowledge. I said that in one of my old videos. Books are knowledge. If you can read one book a day, you're learning something out of that book. No matter what, if it's in martial arts or not. Because that's how we gain knowledge about some. Yeah, some books can be useful and some books can be useless. It just depends on what you're spending your money on. And to me, um, now the top two books I learned from, you can learn, use them in everyday life. The Art of War by Sun Tzu and Miyoto Miyashi, The Book of Five Rings. And there's one more book, Be Like Water. It's like a meditation book, and very small book, but those three books will help you understand martial arts a lot better. Mixing it in with the Chinese philosophy, mixing it in with Japanese philosophy, and mixing it in with Western philosophy. And another thing is Kaya martial arts. That'll help you understand about martial arts, how to develop the chi, and stuff like that. So, if you think books are useless to learn out of, you're wrong. If you can't find videos of it, now to me, videos online, yeah, they're a good must to have. If you're trying to learn about the art itself, or you know, if you're trying to understand it, if you don't understand something out of the book, you want to go back online and look at it, and then for reference, on how to do it, then yeah, you can do that. But when you are learning on your own out of a book, most people nowadays they were learning off their phones or learning off their computer on something. So they're trying to learn something on their own, you know, just do it. Learn something on your own. Back then, they didn't really have manuals to go by. They didn't really have a training system to go by. The dude, people made up their own system and they just used what worked for them in a fight. So, just on defending yourself. Let's say if they learn one kick and then turn around and learn a few punches. Well, let's say that one kick is a front kick, and that one and the other two punches or as a 1-2 combo. Well, a jab cross combo. Well, think of it is, if he would have trained that technique and made it perfective just on those three combinations, and it worked every time. Let's say if he used it just to, once in a while, then later on maybe he learned a different way of kicking. Let's say if he did a roundhouse and he worked on that. Well, my thing of it is, why can't people be like back then? Learn their own system up instead of learning from other people. Just go out and do what you can think of and try to master your own system. Me, I'm trying to make up my own system, which I have tested it. And it does somewhat pretty good. I made up my own boxing system. And it does pretty good. My karate needs a little work on, but I know my boxing has been perfected on what I know. So, can you learn on your own? Yeah. Can you do things on your own? Yeah. Is there a right way of doing things? Yes, there is. Now, you can get taught the right way by somebody on how to do it, but the thing of it is, you have to have time, dedication, and time and era, you know, to make yourself better. You know, all the masters back then, you know, they probably made mistakes in their lives too, on their techniques. Same with professional boxers. Look at Muhammad Ali. You know, yeah, there was a time that he made a mistake, but he didn't want to go by his war name. He didn't want to go by his slave name. He wanted to go by Muhammad Ali. He didn't want to go by Cassius Clay. So they revoked his license from boxing. Did he took time off from his training? He didn't train as hard as he did when he had his title. But once he got his title back, he started training regularly. There was one fight that he did. I can't remember who it was by. I think it was by one boxer. I can't remember his name. And he threw a hook at him. At Muhammad Ali. And the dude went down. Well, he learned from that mistake. He learned, oh shit, if I get hit by this hook one more time, I'm gonna get knocked down. So he's like, I gotta stay out of his distance. That's the reason why you see him moving his head around so fast where they can't keep up. And the thing of it is about Muhammad Ali, he was a people's people. And he was literally, I think, he even was trying to do mixed martial arts. I think he was trying to make his own system up. In boxing. So, his own martial arts style. And that's the thing. That's how people be great. Because they try to do it their own way and how they've been taught. But in their own way as a system. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do it my own way. Do it how I feel. Not nobody else's way, but my way. It's okay to get certain ideas off other videos or certain ideas off of DVDs or out of books. But the thing of it is, just train hard. Train hard every day. Don't overtrain, but just train hard. Then you will improve. Seth McDonald. That's Seth Karate Fist Way signing out.